why? You should subscribe to the Monaresclub. Because the Principal of Saiyans told you to, idiot. Bye.
What's good, guys? This is James bringing you another deck profile. Today I'm going to be going over my new deck I just built out of Realm of the Gods. We just got all of our stuff from pre-release, and I was able to get all of the components for this out of our case we cracked at pre-release, so we were able to get this put together real quick. I've been able to do a lot of testing with it. I've been having a ton of fun. So I thought I'd bring you guys this deck profiles if you wanted to see how to make this deck yourself, because it's a fairly open-ended leader. I had to try out a lot of different stuff, and eventually I landed on this core that has been working really well for me. So before I get into the deck, I just want to ask you guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot to help bring you more deck profiles, tournament recaps, all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the deck. So Zamasu is a Shenron leader. He, awakens with the whole Dragon Ball mechanic, kind of a throwback to set 5, set 6 days. And then that period of the game is really near and dear to my heart, even though in hindsight it was not super fun for a lot of people. But it's really cool being able to play with the Wish leaders again, and I'm glad Bandai's been kind of reintroducing them with Mechi Cabra and now Zamasu. And in Zamasu can even use the old Dragon Balls, so that's really cool. So he has, on attack, you add up to 2 Dragon Ball cards from your deck and or life to your hand. Shuffle any areas you look through. So you get to essentially draw 2 every time you attack with him, which is, crazy. And this is, I believe, the first Wish leader with an alternate awakening. So he can awaken if your life's at 3 or less, or there are 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area. So you draw 1, and then you place all Dragon Ball cards from your drop area at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then flip him over. This is also unique because he's also the first Shenron leader that actually puts all of the Dragon Balls back into your deck, which is pretty interesting, and you'll see why once we get to the back. So he's got an activate main once per turn. Choose 1, draw a card, add 1 Dragon Ball from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck, or the ultimate wish, which all Wish leaders have. Remove 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area from the game. If you do, you play up to 1 Zamasu with energy cost 2 or less and indestructible from your warp, and then this card gains triple attack for the turn. So you're going to essentially want to awaken once you've gotten your 7 Dragon Balls, flip over, put all of your Dragon Balls back in your deck, and then you're going to start tutoring them out of your deck again, one at a time, and hopefully drawing into some along the way as well. And then eventually you can set up for this ultimate wish if the game goes late enough. I will say it takes a decent amount of time in order to grab all of the Dragon Balls back again. So I haven't really gotten this ultimate wish off too many times, so I don't have any cards in the deck like Monaka or anything that helps build around that. But he does just generate massive card advantage, and the Dragon Balls in his deck themselves are extremely good. So yeah, let's just get into the rest of the deck here. We'll start with the Dragon Balls. I'm playing 4 Coercion and then 3 regular Dragon Balls. Coercion's just incredibly good. It lets you take a God card from your hand, send it to the warp, and then draw 2. So it's kind of like if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a Destiny draw type card. So it gives you really strong filtering, and all of the cards we're going to be sending to the warp actually have abilities when they're in the warp. So you're actually gaining card advantage while doing this. And then we have 3 of the regular Dragon Balls just for the fast draw, and if you don't have any gods you want to pitch or anything in your hand. These are also stupid because they're yellow extra cards, which play really well with all of the yellow staples that we have in the deck. Very, very silly that works the way that it does. We'll get into some of the gods that you're going to be pitching. So we've got 4 Zamasu self-supported. This guy is incredibly good. He's a 2-drop 10k indestructible, so you can bring him back off of the Goku Black Wish. But his main abilities you're going to be using are going to be from the combo area and from warp. So he has an activate main, limit 1, pay a yellow. Your leader's a Zamasu or Goku Black. Add this card from your hand to your hand from your warp. So this is incredibly strong with Coercion because you can essentially send him to your warp, draw 2, and then get him back whenever you want for an energy, which is going to start putting you really far ahead in card advantage. But he also has another ability where he can activate battle, send this card and 1 Goku Black from your combo area to the warp, draw 1. So this sets you up for the pseudo-arrival Zamasu that I'll show off in just a minute. And you're going to be, it also sets up your Goku Black Rosés, which I'll show off right now. Playing 4 of this guy is so strong. He's incredibly strong. You have to play 4 of him. He's also treated as blue. But this permanent only works when he's in the battle area, because that's how permanents work, unless they specify otherwise. That only works in the battle area. So he's just considered blue and yellow in the battle area, which doesn't really come up. But he does have an auto limit 1. If your leader is yellow when he's played, you choose one of your opponent's non-leader cards and switch it to rest mode, which means you can switch energy to rest mode with him. Absolutely stupid. Activate main, pay 1, send this card to its owner's warp, draw 1, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. Very strong. And all of that kind of comes together. I should have read this effect first. With his activate battle, pay 2. If you have 2 or more blue and or yellow cards in your battle area or combo area, you play this card from your hand or warp. So if you warp this off of your Zamasu self-supported or off of coercion, you can play this almost any time you want from the warp. It just has a small setup cost of having a couple of cards in play or in your combo area. You can pay 2, play him from your warp during a combat, rest mode one of your opponent's cards, and then you can then, when it comes back to your turn, pay 1, send him to the warp, draw a card, and rest KO one of their battle cards they have in rest mode. Very, very strong combo. You can also put him into play, and then if you have this guy in your hand, combo him from the battle area, and then combo this, and then warp them both and draw 1 again if you want to guarantee get this guy back in your warp. Just a cool little line you can do there. But yeah, this card is incredibly, incredibly strong, and one of the backbone cards of the deck for sure. Both of those are. This is a blue-yellow build. I've seen some people build mono-yellow. This is going to be a more focused yellow splashing blue rather than the other way around. But we are playing 4 of the Fused Zamasu Exterminating Force. This guy's a really big boss monster that evolves on top of your 5-drop Zamasu, but we're mostly using him because he ignores energy exhaust with our leader Zamasu, which is or Goku Black, so it works on both sides. So it just sets up our energy for free on turn 1. He evolves on top of this guy. It hasn't really come up that you want to evolve him too often, but you know, it's a thing you can do if you want to close the game. But this guy is just stupid broken. Fused Zamasu Divine Condemnation. He's got so many words on him. He's got Energy Exhaust and Unique, which are just kind of normal keywords to have. But then he's Indestructible and a blocker, and he has Aegis Blue-Yellow once per turn. So that means that you can, defensively get energy back, which is, historically incredibly strong. Just think about the Bojack that was banned. And this guy can come out for 2 energy with his activate battle. So you can pay a blue and a yellow. If your leader card is Zamasu or Goku Black, and you have at least 1 Zamasu and 1 Goku Black in your combo area, you play this card from your hand. So the easiest way to set this up is to have both of these in your combo area. And then you can pay 2, play this guy from your hand, and then you can, after he's in play, warp these 2 with this Zamasu's effect, and then draw a card. Just incredibly strong. Then you're all set up for Aegis if you're doing that defensively, which is generally how you're going to play it. And then when you activate his Aegis, he has an auto that you get to choose one of your opponent's non-leader cards and switch it to rest mode, which is exactly the same skill as this guy. So if you can manage to do that sort of combo, which is what the deck wants to do on turn 2 or turn 3, get both of these guys out in the combo area, play this for 2, warp these, draw a card, and then you can use that card to fuel Aegis to untap 2, and then tap one of your opponent's cards, and then pay 2 to play this guy from the warp and tap another card. So you can put your opponent incredibly far behind on tempo in just one big swing, get a huge indestructible blocker that just threatens Aegis and rest moding cards every turn. Just an incredibly stupid card. And the reason you want to play all of the blue-yellow stuff in the deck, if I'm being honest. Then we have, since we're blue-yellow, and this card actually has like some tribal synergy with the deck, we are playing 4 Zamasu the Eliminator. This guy's still really good even after the errata. Incredible synergy with the deck. He's also a free check land as long as you have another blue-yellow card in your energy, which is, really strong because we want to have this guy in our energy turn 1, so then that sets it up for these guys for the rest of the game as well. He's also a Zamasu, so he can fulfill your Zamasu combo area requirement for this guy. He's a blue-yellow card, so you can just pitch him and automatically have Aegis set up. And he's also a god, so you can pitch dead copies to coercion. It's just, bread and butter card, and it does so much, even more than it would in just a normal blue-yellow deck. So staple card, absolutely awesome in this deck. Alright, so that's kind of the core engine of the deck, at least as far as like the cards from the set go. Bring out the rest of the cards here. So we're going to be playing the obvious stuff. We're playing 4 Robotic Riposte and 4 Steadfast Assistance. I am playing 60 cards. because the deck goes through so many freaking cards that I was playing 55 before, which is where I generally used to play my Shenron leaders. But you draw too many cards, so I bumped it up to 60 because I almost decked out too many times. So we're just playing 4 of each because we're not really worried about bricking with 60 cards. You just want to see them as consistently as possible. And again, Coercion sets these up for free, so as long as you time it right so that you don't end up with all of these in your deck the turn you awaken, then yeah, you're just going to get these set up with pretty much no effort. Going with the rest of the battle cards, we've got my main win condition of the deck, which is Son Goku, Return of the Dragon Fist. I just needed a way to win the game in this deck. Like I said, the Zamasu 9-drop can work. It didn't come up too often. It's extremely expensive to get out, and you have to have the 5-drop already established and your opponent not, having dealt with it already. So this guy can work, but Dragon Fist Goku is just generally a little easier to set up in my eyes, and especially since you also want to be charging these a lot of the time too. You just have to get it back to your turn with a Unison in play, or just play it on turn 6 with our Trunks. 2 Switch Retaliation Coolers. We are playing a 60-card deck, like I said, so I want to make sure I can see this card in the matchups you want it. Like against blue, you want to be able to force through this guy through like a Baby Hatch or something, because we're not threatening them with aggro for most of the game, so they're going to be chilling with their Baby Hatch as soon as they draw it, and just save it for a big turn like this. So you want Cooler to be able to force that through. 1 Poutine, just because I don't have any room for another one. I'd like to play another one. I don't really know what to cut. You can maybe cut the second Cooler for 1. 1 Bergamo, because that's how many we're allowed to play, and we're playing all the other good yellow cards. And then the secret rare for the deck is Supreme Kai of Time. I think this is the best secret rare for the deck, because you end up with so much energy. The whole deck, for most of the game, you're just going to be passing with all of your energy up. So you can just play this at your earliest convenience. Your opponent's going to be playing really awkwardly to play around all of your rest mode effects. So oftentimes they might be swinging in without their Unison or their leader first, so you can kind of get them with this. We're also a slow, grindy, methodical control deck, so being able to get like a Unison and a full board wipe off of this is just stupid. And she's also a god. I've had games where in a pinch you can just pitch her off of Coercion if you really need to. You really need to get your card draw engine going or whatever. You can just pitch her off Coercion. Not generally what you want to be doing, but it's better to have more utility than less. So I do think she's better than Pan in this deck, although obviously Pan is incredibly strong on her own as well. Super combos, just get that out of the way. I've got 1 Zamasu and then 3 Krillin, just for that extra card filter. We are playing a lot of multicolors and extra cards, so getting the card filter is really nice. Our opponents are generally going to be attacking us most of the game. We can't get ourselves set up on life, so if that's kind of an issue for you, you can split like 2-2 with the Zamasu, because again, this does have other synergy with the deck, but I generally have been liking this ratio. I played this ratio in Golden Frieza and it worked really well, so I moved it over here and it's been working really well. Unisons to set up our Dragon Fist Goku. We've got 3 Trunks Altering the Future and 1 Mechi Cabra. I could see this just being the 4th Trunks Altering the Future, honestly, but I really like Mechi Cabra too for those incredibly slow games. And this deck can protect it really well with the blocker Zamasu, and just like all of the rest mode effects that we have. So it's pretty easy to keep this guy on board. And then Trunks is obviously just an all-star, and you can run this guy out on the same turn as Dragon Fist Goku on turn 6, which is pretty nice. Extra cards that aren't Dragon Balls. We've got 3 Black Kamehameha. I'd kind of like to fit a 4th one in. I just don't really know where. Just stupid good card. 2 Vegeta's Final Flash, keep you safe, and it's even better in this deck because we have access to Aegis, so we can manipulate our energy whenever we need to. 1 Power of a Super Saiyan because it's a 1, and then we have 4 copies of Senzu Bean, because Senzu Bean's crazy. And it's even better in this deck because of all the stuff we can do in the opponent's turn, so we can just juice up our leader and just be really protected and keep doing stuff on the opponent's turn, making plays with like the Goku Blacks from the Warp, and just using our energy in really stupid broken ways. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. I'll go over some of the mulligans and stuff because this is a Wish leader and we haven't had a Wish leader in a long while, so if you haven't played with a Wish deck before, you kind of need to mulligan a little bit differently. And I'll just go over some of the math on how the Dragon Balls work. I've done this in some of my old Shenron deck profiles back in the day. So you have 7 Dragon Balls in your deck, so you want to make sure you open with 1. So one of your mulligan conditions is you want to have 1 Dragon Ball in your hand. If you're playing a faster matchup, you actually don't need to keep more Dragon Balls because you can manually awaken with the leader. And if you're manually awakening at 3 life, you actually don't have to shuffle as many Dragon Balls back into your deck. You can keep them in your hand, and that gets you access to the triple attack turn much faster. You can get it in like a couple of turn cycles rather than in like 6 or 7. But you're going to get guaranteed awaken on turn 3 if you can keep a Dragon Ball in your hand in the opener. It doesn't matter which one. It could be Coercion or regular Dragon Ball. Because you'll keep a Coercion or you'll keep a Dragon Ball card, and then every turn you'll swing and get 2, which means that turn 1 you'll swing, turn 2 you'll swing, and turn 3 you'll swing and get all 7 Dragon Balls by turn 3 guaranteed. So you want to make sure you start with 1. If you start with 2, you generally will ship it, and if you start with 3, you can usually keep them to make sure you get awakened a little bit faster. You generally just want to be looking for an odd number of Dragon Balls and ship any even numbers. That's kind of the main thing I'm trying to get at here. After that, you really need to set up your energy, so you want to make sure you have one of your energy exhaust cards, or rather ignoring energy exhaust cards in your opener. Let me find one. So ideally, you're going to be charging this guy on turn 1 because he gets your energy set up for the rest of the game. But, failing that, you can charge any multicolor card. You can charge him or you can charge the other Zamasu. Doesn't really matter. And you also, if you're keeping Coercion, you'll need to look for a god to pitch for it. So this kind of can fulfill both requirements, which is really nice. Then after that, you want to look for the Goku Black and the other Zamasu. These guys, this is kind of like your ideal cards you're looking to start the game with. Number 1 priority is a Dragon Ball. Number 2 priority is your energy. Number 3 priority is something to pitch to Coercion. These are the optimal Coercion targets because they have effects in the warp, but obviously anything that can get your deck going is going to be better than nothing. You also don't have to play Coercion because it's not a limit 1, so you can just kind of hold on to it and just fire them all in one turn once you start finding some targets for it. So that's really nice. Your ideal turn 1, you're going to be charging this guy, playing Coercion, pitching this to draw 2, and then paying 1 and adding it back. It's just incredibly safe, a really good setup, and gets you set up for the rest of the game. Yeah, I will say we're pretty light on Goku Blacks in this deck. I only played this one. I've seen some people playing the 4-drop one, which is definitely something I've considered. It's really hard to find room. We're even at 60 cards, and it's hard to find room. So that's a card I could see playing 1 or 2 of, but just to juice up the Goku Black count a little bit to make the Aegis guy a little easier to get out. But other than that, you just kind of play the game incredibly slowly. You just pass with a bunch of energy up on your opponent's turn, and then just like play the game on the opponent's turn. We're just kind of playing at our turn, kind of old school control style. So yeah, thanks for checking out the deck profile, guys. I know that was a little bit of a longer one, but I wanted to go over the newer cards and kind of the way you play the deck since it is new. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, hit me up in the comments if you got any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.